You got a text from someone asking for a favor. Your stomach drops. You're already exhausted. You already have too much on your plate. But before your brain even finishes the thought, your fingers are already typing, "Sure, no problem, happy to help." And then you put your phone down, stare at the ceiling, and wonder, why do I keep doing this to myself? This isn't a time management problem. It's not about being too nice. There's something much deeper going on. And once you understand it, it changes everything. Here's what most people get wrong about people pleasers. They think it's a personality trait, that some people are just naturally generous, easygoing, accommodating. But psychology tells a very different story. For a lot of people, saying yes, even when they desperately want to say no, is a survival response. It's called the Fawn response. You've probably heard of fight, flight, and freeze. Fawn is the fourth, and it develops early, often in childhood, when a person learns that keeping others happy is the safest way to avoid conflict, rejection, or punishment. Maybe you grew up in a home where anger was unpredictable, where love felt conditional, where being good meant being agreeable. So your nervous system adapted. It learned, if I make myself useful, I stay safe. If I say no, I lose the relationship. That was a smart strategy for a child. The problem is that strategy follows you into adulthood, long after the original threat is gone. Here's where it gets painful. Chronic people pleasers aren't just tired, they're slowly disappearing. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you send yourself a message your needs don't matter as much as theirs. Do that enough times and you stop knowing what you actually want. You lose your sense of self. You become whoever the room needs you to be. And the worst part? The resentment builds quietly underneath the smiling and the helping and the, "of course, I don't mind." You start resenting the people you're helping, even though they never asked you to sacrifice yourself. They just asked a question. You're the one who couldn't say no. That resentment has nowhere to go, so it turns inward. It becomes anxiety, exhaustion, burnout, sometimes depression. People pleasers are some of the most emotionally depleted people walking around because they are endlessly pouring from a cup that nobody is refilling. So how do you stop? The first thing to understand is this. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you an honest one. The people who truly care about you, they can handle your no. Anyone who punishes you for having a boundary was benefiting from you not having one. Start small. You don't have to go from yes to everything to no to everything. That's not the goal. The goal is the pause. Before you respond, take a breath. Ask yourself, do I actually want to do this, or am I just afraid of what happens if I don't? That pause is everything, because in that pause, you are choosing yourself, maybe for the first time. Also, learn to separate your worth from your usefulness. People pleasers often believe deep down that they are only lovable when they are needed, that if they stop helping, people will leave. But real connection doesn't work like that. Real connection doesn't require you to earn your place at the table every single day. You are allowed to exist without performing. If any of this hit close to home, I want you to hear this. The fact that you've spent years making everyone else comfortable, that says something about your empathy, your sensitivity, your heart. But you cannot keep outsourcing your peace to other people's approval. The most important relationship you will ever have is the one with yourself, and that relationship needs a no sometimes. So the next time your stomach drops and your fingers start typing, "Sure, no problem," pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what do I actually want? That question might be the most radical thing you do all day. If this resonated with you, subscribe because there's a lot more psychology content like this coming your way.